Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
They appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show 18 times. They were here in Milwaukee 3 times. The Dave Clark Five, the first of the British Invasion Act to appear in Milwaukee, drew a crowd estimated at 10,000 at George Devine's $1 Million Ballroom at the Eagles Club on June 7, 1964. The capacity, 3,000, so they were way oversold. The teenagers were packed in so tight that when someone would pass out, they would pass them forward to the stage, and we would take them to a room backstage for medical assistance. The police could not hold the crowd back. Dave Clark gives his reaction to their first appearance in Milwaukee. He also has a personal Milwaukee story and a wild incident on tour.
I don't think you'll ever forget Milwaukee, will you? There's one incident I think that sticks in your mind about Milwaukee. Is that right? Devine's Ballroom?
Yes, our very first date, and there were so many people, it's no wonder the floor didn't fall to us. It was really chaotic, but it's something to remember.
And I remember you saying at that time that you weren't sure whether you wanted to go out on stage or not because you would be risking some injuries of the teens. Is that right?
That is correct, yes, because when you get thousands of people rioting and there's a chance of somebody getting trampled on, we feel personally at fault, and if there's any way we can control it, we will. If anybody gets hurt in a riot, it's a personal thing because we feel responsible.
You have something personal that you wore in your movie, Having a Wild Weekend, that you received from the Milwaukee fans. What was that?
That was a watch. And I was thrilled to bits with it, so thrilled. Well, in fact, I never took it off, And I wore it all the way through the movie.
You've been to the United States 5 times. You've been to Milwaukee 3 times. Is there one incident that will maybe be humorous or different from other things that have happened to you in those 5 visits?
I think practically everything's happened, but I think the funniest thing was in Baltimore last summer when they ran a competition to meet 200 fans were picked out that we were to meet, and there must have been about 100 policemen. In fact, there were nearly as many policemen as fans, and this girl came along and we shook hands with everybody, and apparently she'd handcuffed one of her hands and put the other handcuff in her handbag, and when she came up to me, she slapped the handcuff on my wrist. And I was handcuffed to her. She was hysterical. She'd lost the key. The police, they panicked.
Oh, she lost the key.
She lost the key. Well, on purpose. But the police, there was such a panic, and they threatened to put her in prison, which I thought was ridiculous because I admired her. I would never have done it. I thought it was quite funny.
And they try to get into your hotel rooms and areas that your press conferences and things like that too, right?
Yes, we've had everything, every experience of being knocked out, to breaking ribs, to losing trousers, everything. You name it happened to us.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Barnes.